What's up, Dandelions? Welcome to another episode of the After Work Anime Club. I am Luulu Soul. I am an artist. I'm making the fan art that you see being created in the background, and I stream on Twitch. With me, we have Yami Book and Hatter.
I'm Yami Brick. I stream games and art and D&D and just all around good vibes.
I'm Hatter, and I continue to be a shark with a top hat.
Yeah.
The toppy hattest of sharks. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the 3 anime from our childhood, trying to figure out whether or not it lives up to the hype. Basically, does it pass the vibe test? And those anime are Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, and Inuyasha. We're going to be starting with Outlaw Star. Hatter, do you want to take off with, Yeah.
Sure. Outlaw Star is a anime. Let's see here. It's about a character named Gene Starwind and his buddy James Hawking, commonly referred to as Jim, as they start off being all around it's almost like mercenaries. They describe themselves as they'll do anything from fixing tractors to relationships. They get hired on by a woman known as Hilda to be a bodyguard for her, and through that they meet another mysterious girl known as Melfina, and that's basically most of what happens in the first 3 episodes. That's the real short version. There's a couple other main characters, but we haven't gotten to them in the 3 episodes. It's a very good show still. I watched this when I was 15-ish, and I'd say it still holds up pretty well.
In my case, I also watched it. I think I was a little younger than 15. I was probably 12, 13, something along those lines. And I've got I've got thoughts. I've got a lot of thoughts, but I've enjoyed watching it again. What about Yami? I don't think you've seen it before, have you?
I'd heard of it, but I had never watched it.
So
I had no idea what it was about.
So let's hear your thoughts. What do you think?
The entire time, I wanted to watch Ghost in the Shell.
Interesting choice.
Hilda's voice actress is Motoko Kusanagi's voice actress, so I mean, because I watched the dub. So the entire time she's talking, it's the major, now I want to watch Ghost in the Shell. I found the main character is, I was confused, because, it seemed like he wanted to go into space so bad, but then he's scared, his stomach doesn't take it very well, and I don't know. I wasn't blown away. It was very 90s.
Yes.
It was very 90s. And by that merit, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just, I don't have the nostalgia factor, so...
And I feel this way about Inuyasha as well, but I feel like for Outlaw Star and Inuyasha, one more episode would have helped a lot, whereas with Tenchi, I actually feel like one less episode would have been a better stopping.
I can see that.
Because I only got 2 episodes of Tenchi for various reasons.
Fair enough.
So I did want to. I'm almost positive. Do you remember in the first 3 episodes of Outlaw Star, a kind of flashback thing of a little boy and his dad in space, and his dad in Space Pirates Attack?
Yeah.
His dad, that was the first time. That was Gene, the main character, as a little boy, and that was the first time he had ever been in space. And that was also the day his dad died.
Yeah, they were attacked by space pirates, and he watched his dad die literally in front of him. So
traumatized.
He wants to go into space. His specific reason when asked, why do you want to go to space, is to fight pirates. And then he gets there and realizes, oh, this is not what I thought it would be.
So, think Natsu's, from Fairy Tail, think Natsu's motion sickness?
I never watched Fairy Tail.
Add it to the list.
Oh,
I know of Fairy Tail, but I have never watched or read it.
So, Outlaw Star, at least in this instance, I understand where you're coming from, but I do think, one more episode adds a lot.
Okay.
So, in this case, if you get a chance in the next week or 2, try one more episode and see if it changes how you feel.
We can even make it an additional segment at the beginning of the next episode of where what if we went beyond the 3 episode rule?
Or, in some cases, we are beyond the 3 episode rule.
I will neither confirm nor deny that one of the reasons I was yes, this totally matches up to my memories is because I'm like, oh my god, I know what happens next.
I can totally get that.
But I like a lot of the little characterizations they put in the first 3 episodes. One of the instances is they're picking up the woman that they're going to do the bodyguard work for, and Jim comes up with the car, and they get ready to go, and the car just breaks.
Yeah,
They just stone face for 5 seconds, and then it's just the next shot is them just picking through the engine, going, "Why isn't it working?"
Yeah,
like they are not competent all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
they are by far not perfect. Absolutely
doing their
perfect.
best.
And I enjoyed that. I did.
This was back in the age of anime, and I feel like we don't see this as much anymore in a lot of the newer stuff, of where characters can have unpleasant flaws. Like nowadays, anime characters will have flaws, but it's like, oh, they're clumsy, that's so cool. Or yes, he's really moody, but it's because of his secret dark backstory, and he's actually a really sweet guy, but all of the trauma. But like in Jean's case, he's a lech, and there is no excuse for it.
Yeah.
I immediately went to try to defend it, and no, I got nothing.
Like, I will say this. The way they play it, like, I mean, you get a lot, especially from Jim's reactions, like, oh my god, not again. But Jean himself, like he's not creepy about it. Like, yeah, I'm with another woman, what about it?
Yeah, for the most part, he is lecherous to women who want him to be lecherous towards them.
I'm creepy over the naked girl with the briefcase.
What?
That is a whole complicated thing.
He actually does not creep on her ever.
Oh, never ever? Cool.
Nope.
I mean, yeah, like I was genuinely surprised by that. I'm like, oh, cool, naked alien girl. I mean, I don't know if she's an alien. I don't know what constitutes an alien in this anime. But I don't even know if she's a real person. I don't know anything about her yet.
She does casually destroy him in the spaceship, though.
Oh god! You can't perform? How sad for you.
Oh, yes, that was great.
Just a savage beating.
I love it.
But yeah, he never gets creepy about her. He never, at least from what I saw, he never is like, oh, look at this very naked girl. Just, oh, she's in cryostasis. Why is that?
And then immediately, okay, we need to get her clothes.
Yeah, I appreciated that. I really did.
There is one episode in particular, much further on, where he actually wins a battle by being a lecherous creep.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he's pretty, like, good at, like, you never see a female that is unhappy with his advances, and the ones that do shut him down, like, that's it. Like, with Hilda, I don't think he approaches Hilda at all after that.
Because first she's a customer, and then she's a coworker. Like,
that doesn't... He's not professional.
Oh my god. I mean, she was a client. She was hiring him as a bodyguard. Okay, I'm not gonna flirt with the person that I'm protecting. And then, oh, now I'm part of the crew. I'm not gonna flirt with, what is she, the captain? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
know.
He does, though. She just shuts him down hard, and he goes, yeah, okay, I'm just not going there again.
Yeah, he does, like, he's not professional. Like, he is not a good quality, but he's not lech. He is not dangerous.
I don't know if I'd say a lech so much as a flirt.
Yeah, like, there's a difference between being good with women and being the 90s anime version of Ray's grandpa, or Miroku, or a lot of other absolutely lecherous male characters. Like, he can be good with women, sure, that's fine. Obviously, a lot of women do like him, from what I could tell. From the few interactions with women that I saw.
He is very good at finding a place to sleep at night, if he so desires it.
Yes. And I mean, sure, that's fine. But he, like you said, he doesn't seem to creep on women.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed, and I would say this, I did it for all 3 of the anime that we'll be talking about today. I took a point in random episodes where I would switch between the Japanese and the English. Because I did it at first with Outlaw Star. And then, out of curiosity, I did it with the others because I now have a theory. And it's another big difference between 90s or older anime that doesn't happen as much anymore. And that is, it's very obvious, at least to me, that the English directions that the actors were given were to Americanize the characters.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
In some ways, you get the Pokemon's donuts, which is bad.
The jelly donuts. Oh my god. It was so terrible.
But in other ways, it brought, I want to say, a sincerity to the English cast. Like, the English cast, their personalities are different from the Japanese cast. But it's different interpretations of the same person, and I kind of miss that.
That's fair. Anime companies have gotten a lot better at matching the voice, the subs and dubs.
And I'll come back to this in Tenchi, but it was Jean. And now there's also, like, it's also one of the things that I think that they do that people don't talk about as much is they tried to match the characters to an American audience. So, like, if we were to listen to Jean's voice actor in Japanese, like, listen to the original Japanese audio, he almost sounds polite by American standards.
I mean, I did listen to it subbed. I listened to all 3 subbed, but...
I watched it dubbed.
Like, if you compare, like the Japanese voice actor for Jean and the American voice actor for Jean, the American voice actor for Jean is a lot, it's a lot more arrogant. He's a lot more brash.
Yeah.
He's very abrupt. He is not smooth at all. He's a character. And I want to say that in at least the culture of that time in Japan, that is how that character is supposed to come across in Japanese. But what is seen as obnoxious to us is not necessarily going to be obnoxious in another culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that they took into account and might be one of the reasons for my earlier comment about how I feel like these characters have a lot of flaws that are just flaws.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up, and this is about, like, character design. How often do you see a character that has so many apparent scars as Jean does?
They were over. Like, how many times has this person been stabbed?
A lot.
I believe it.
But, like, for a main character of an anime, you don't see that a lot.
Yeah, like, you'll get one facial scar, maybe.
Sometimes.
You'll get maybe one side scar.
Or they have a lot of scars, but for the majority of the time, the scars are hidden by clothing. Looking at you, Vanitas.
Yeah, but, like, Jean, they're all over his arms. You can see, I think he has a face scar. I'm not actually remembering.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got a facial scar, and, like, anytime he takes his big, overcoat off,
they're all over his arms.
They're all over him.
And he's not
everywhere.
Ashamed of them.
Oh, no, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And he's also not dark and brooding about it either. Like, yeah, I've been stabbed a few hundred times.
I survived. There aren't on my back. What's your deal?
But yeah, I think it's really, really interesting design for the character.
Mm-hmm.
The villains also have some really interesting character designs.
Indeed.
I will say, though, in that regard, like, and this is more of a commentary on the series as a whole, as opposed to but it shows up a little bit in the first three episodes as well. Just how kind of forgettable the antagonists are in these episodes.
They're kind of meant to be, at least like most of them, because like they're not the focus. They don't matter. They're just like they're there to be antagonists. Like, do you know any of the antagonist names besides the McDougal brothers?
I'd already forgotten that.
Any of like the pirate names?
I can't, but and that's part of the thing. Like,
that's kind of what I mean.
Obvious that Hilda hates these guys. Jean hates pirates. Jem
doesn't care.
Just
he's here for the ride.
Hilda seems like I feel like hate is a strong word from her. They obviously hate her, but she's almost like, yeah, these guys are getting on my nerves again.
Oh, but
that's what I got.
Can I just talk for a minute we've already talked about spoilers as a thing. About the scene where she has taken one of their attackers hostage, and she's like, "You're going to answer my questions," and he's like, "No, I'm not. The people who hired me are scary," and she's like, "Scarier than I am."
Me.
You raise a compelling argument, ma'am.
Who would you rather face? And just the utter badassery.
I liked her. I liked her a lot. I would rather. I mean,
Hilda's a very good character design.
Yes.
We also briefly got introduced to one of Best Girls, Aisha Clan. And again, I'm very sorry that you didn't get to see more of her because she's fucking great.
I will say her voice is the primary reason I temporarily switched over to Japanese, though.
It's a lot less annoying. But yeah, no, I very much enjoyed it still. I think it still held up pretty well. It's a very good series. Like, obviously, if it's not your thing, Yami, that's completely fine. You know, that's the point of this. 3 episodes didn't get you, then 3 episodes didn't get you. Cool.
If given the chance, I would watch more of it. Is it something I'm going to go wildly out of my way to watch? No.
I mean, I loved it. But again, like I said, a lot of my love for it comes from, 1, knowing what happens next, and 2, the nostalgia factor. Like, I was thrown like years back, and it was like I might as well be like a teenager again.
I will say, especially with Outlaw Star, if you're not paying attention when it gets to the midpoint of the episode, you will be. When the commercial breaks out, it's just gunfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do like another thing that I really liked from what I remember and what I saw was Jim was always one of my favorite characters from the show. I like that he is like, yes, he's kind of a genius beyond his years, blah blah blah, but he's still a kid. He acts like a kid, and he is treated like a kid.
Yeah. Another thing about like Jim and Jean is like, yeah, like the anime bro thing, you know, brothers that aren't brothers thing is a very old cliche by now. And yeah, he was, you know, ripping into him once they got into space, but like there was a moment when they landed on the asteroid belt where he's like, "Hey Jean, are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna go back to ripping into you again."
You good, buddy?
You all right, buddy? You okay? Are you okay? Okay, you suck.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. In a nutshell.
Hey, remember when I wanted to celebrate and you're like, "Nah, I'm gonna go do weird things with girls"? Payback's a bitch.
Yes.
I also again, like, and you know, the kid thing, but like, you know, Jim finds out that Jean and Hilda are sharing a room. That's, you know, is he gonna sleep with her? Finds out he and Melfina are sharing a room. Okay, whatever. That's fine.
I think he complains a little bit at one point.
Sleep in your own bed? Jesus.
Yeah, but like, besides that, it was just all right, and that's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't stress out about it. He didn't like what's gonna happen. Like, okay, all right. You said there's 2 twin beds. Cool.
And he did not. He also does not simp over Melfina. Nobody simps over Melfina.
I appreciate that. I mean, the girl is a doll, basically. I don't know anything about her, but she doesn't like. I don't know. She seems to have some kind of tragic thing to have happened to her. Because I think the first thing she said was, "Why was I born?" I'm like,
yeah, it was a whole mood.
Yeah,
I feel that. What happened, honey? And then the rest of it's just like, yeah, she's just kind of a blank doll. I'm a little concerned for her.
She starts off not having much personality, but it is explained why.
Sure it is. Yeah. I'd be disappointed if it isn't eventually explained.
So,
but yeah,
I guess what we have to go into, does it, for you guys, does it pass the vibe check? Do you think you will be watching? Because the whole idea behind the vibe check is an anime will grab or lose you within the first 3 episodes. So does it pass? Would you continue watching? Will you continue watching this anime? Because if we compare it to anime of the season over here, My Dress Up Darling, like we got. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, episode 1, I knew I was gonna.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I really feel like we shouldn't compare anything to Dress Up Darling.
Okay.
That's not
Dress Up
fair.
Darling is perfection.
That is not fair.
Okay, then
No,
compare it
no.
to Sasaki and Mayano. Like
Miyano.
names are hard, you guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
But
No, like, by your recommendation, I would seek it out again in the future. By the 3 episode rule, no, it doesn't pass.
okay.
Well, there's the answer.
Now, if any of you watching want to find out for yourself about this, we watched Outlaw Star I watched it on Funimation. Hatter, did you find it on Hulu?
It was on Hulu.
Okay. So we can find
That's where I ended up watching it.
So yeah, it can be found both in Funimation and on Hulu. And even though I say it does not pass the 3 episode vibe check, I would suggest, if you've got an afternoon, the English dub is honestly fantastic, especially if you want to like pop it on. It's great as background. I like to watch it while I'm making art. Or if you're cleaning, just want something that you can check in and check out of occasionally, I think it'd be good for that.